Hi friends, Steve from Patriot Bars behind the scenes here. Now I've been away from this channel for a while, about 2.5 months by my count. I haven't even bothered to log in and check for comments or whatnot. Now usually there aren't any, so why bother, I thought.
You're just plain boring.
Well anyways, back to my little life update. Ha! You just won't quit with the girly ass drama, will you? Come on guys, I'm being serious here. By now you're probably sick of me whining about my struggle with food and coffee. My ongoing struggles with trying to quit coffee and to eat clean. And my struggles have been, whined about on both this channel and the Patriot Bars main channel. And I'll admit, these really are pathetic first world problems.
My wallet's too small for my 50s, and my diamond shoes are too tight.
And he's right. But believe me guys, these problems seem no less real to me, and to be honest, they're really starting to kick my ass. Oh, well, you friggin' crybaby. You see, although I made some progress early on in January, a couple of months ago, I still haven't beat coffee. In fact, it's beaten me. I haven't been able to give it up. It seems to still have control over me. I haven't been able to quit, and when I try to do so, go cold turkey, so to speak, off coffee, just not drinking at all, well, I feel so tired and lethargic, like I have no energy whatsoever. And just the other day, after not having coffee when I usually would have indulged in some, well, I said to myself, you know what, I'll just rest my eyes for 20 minutes or so.
I'm just gonna rest my eyes for just a little bit.
Yeah, but unlike our friend Monica, I stayed down for about 11 hours. Good thing it was Sunday, my day off. Ha! Pathetic! You are the Webster's Dictionary's definition of weak sauce. Whatever. But anyways, moving on. See, what I discovered, and bear with me here because it might be hard to explain, but I now believe that coffee, and to some extent contraband carbs, so to speak, carbs that are contraband or forbidden, for me anyways, well, I feel like those substances are causing me to have a diurnal cycle disruption. I was always a night person, so to speak. Well, no, not like a vampire. Vampires are bad guys, usually. Yeah, exactly. But see, at Patriot Bars, we're the good guys. At least I feel we are. But, moons out, goons out kind of good guys. See, I love the darkness, and to some extent the cold as well. I like to run and ruck and, sneak around in the woods and swamp outside, usually at night, especially in the winter, because there are less bugs. Mosquitoes and potentially Lyme disease carrying ticks is what bothers me. And dang, there are a lot of mosquitoes around here. Not in March, mind you, but they're coming, I guarantee it. See, I live right next to a swamp. Actually, it's a marsh, really, because I live up north in the United States, not down south in, Cajun territory and whatnot.
Donkey, you get out of my swamp.
Yeah, something like that. But, back to my sob story. See, since my last update on this channel, for most of January, February, part of March, heck, for most of the winter here, really, I've been spending a lot of time in the cold and the dark, outside a lot, but in my house it's pretty cold too, so I've been roughing it, so to speak, most of the time, making sure I stay uncomfortable. I even sleep on the floor 99% of the time, and my butt barely remembers what a couch feels like. And, for the most part, I like it that way. But it can start to take its toll. See, if the body perceives itself as stressed, chronically stressed, I mean, not just some of the time, but most of the time, well, it can make you weaker, it can make you feel sick. And in my case, the night and cold weather training, although in general good for me, well, I think it served to reinforce my diurnal cycle disruption, which is a fancy way of saying that your body's day and night schedule is not normal, not attuned to what is normal for humans anyways. See, although people can adapt to virtually any climate, environment, or schedule, begrudgingly, I must admit that unlike these guys, we are not nocturnal. We do best if we sleep during the night and are awake during the daylight, most of the time. In fact, ignoring the body's need for sunlight can be very detrimental. See, we need sunlight, and actually on our skin, so that we can produce vitamin D. And also I'm finding so that we can feel normal, and not have diurnal cycle disruption. It basically feels like constant jet lag. You're tired when you shouldn't be tired, and when it's time to go to bed, sometimes, well, you can't. You're wired up. And see, I would be very tired and dependent on coffee unless I was moving around or exercising, if it was nighttime, training and so forth. But, as soon as I was done moving around, then, bam, I would go back to feeling overly tired again and need yet another cup of coffee to keep me going. See, I can't keep constantly moving like a shark. Like most of us in the modern world, I have other more boring and sedentary responsibilities. Tend to business, use a computer, read, study, edit videos, and so forth. And for these activities, alertness is most helpful. Nay, dare I say, required. So thus, in order to have that alertness, I would start pounding down more caffeine. And also I would turn to the contraband carbs I mentioned earlier, or coffee come-alongs, as I call them now. I would eat junk like this. Foods that are not healthy for me, and that I know aren't healthy for me, but nonetheless, they produce quick energy, along with that coffee. Yo, bro, you remember what happened last time I caught you eating that crap? You know what? I'm gonna need you to be quiet right now. Adults are talking here, okay? Yeah, be quiet. Oh, is that so? Anyways, alright, big man, it's on. But by all means, when you're done addressing your audience, just ignore him. So where does that leave us if we if we, like me, need to train in the dark and at least mild cold? Well, I'm finding that getting up before dawn while it's still dark and getting outside right away, to do cardio, running usually, well, that satisfies the requirements for darkness and cold and cardio while still allowing for a normal day and night schedule. So I feel pretty hopeful and confident that as long as I stick to that, then I'll be successful. So in a nutshell, I've become convinced that there is no way to beat coffee and the side effects that it causes me, the horrible negative side effects that it causes me, if I continue to be a night person, so to speak. Well, bravo! Are you finally done? Because you and I have a score to settle, pal. Oh, you bet we do. Ha! Pathetic! I see you haven't got any better. Oh, that tears it, Broheim. You're gonna pay for that. Nice one, but the gloves are off now. Then so are the socks. Come on, let's see what you got. Whoa.